everyone, I'm Vinny the Knife Guy in Reno, Nevada, and I want to talk about when a customer brings you the micro serration knives. How do you sharpen it? What do you do? And I'll tell you how to take care of it. When a customer brings you a serrated knife, most of the times this is how it's going to look. You're going to have serrations. They can vary in width, and these knives are amazing for cutting bread. So there's two ways to sharpen these. If the serrations are still sharp, you can use a 600 grit belt and bring up a burr on the back edge and then knock that off with a wire wheel or a felt belt, or cut in new serrations with a diamond wheel. This is the knife that the customer dropped off today, and these are the micro serrations. And I don't know any good way to sharpen this. And if you look at some of the mail-in knife sharpeners, they don't even accept these. That's why it's so important to talk to your customers. She thought this knife was completely ruined, and I gave her the option of one, I don't have to sharpen it, or two, remove the micro serrations and create a flat grind bevel on this knife. The best thing to do when a customer brings you a micro serrated knife is to have good communication with them. First thing I told her was, I don't sharpen these. I don't know how to sharpen the micro serrations. And then she was a little bummed out. She said, throw it away. It's dull. It's useless. It can't cut anything. Then I told her, I can put a brand new edge on it for you, but it won't have the micro serrations. It'll be a flat edge. So then that made her extremely happy. And then I'll show you my whole process from removing them and putting a brand new edge on this knife. So just like any knife, I'm going to start with a 120 grit Kubatron belt. I have my angle guide set at 17 degrees. I have the belt coming towards me, so it's going to be edge leading, and my RPMs is at 2000. I'm going to treat this just like any knife that has a lot of chips in it. I'm going to keep grinding with 120 grit until I remove all the micro serrations at the very edge of the knife. So I'm doing equal passes back and forth. And this might take a while. I don't know if I should have done 80 grit, but I had a fresh belt on with 120, so I felt fine doing this. You'll also notice that the micro serrations come up pretty high on the bevel. So I told the customer I don't feel comfortable removing that much metal, otherwise I'd have to thin the knife out. So aesthetically, the micro serrations will still be on the knife, but they won't be on the cutting edge. That's why it's so important to give the right expectations to your customer and let them know the whole process of how you can resharpen this and what to expect when the whole process is done. Now you can see that I brought up a burr throughout the whole edge of the knife. The micro serrations are still on it aesthetically, but they won't be affecting the cutting surface. I'm not perfectly happy on how the tip looks right now, so I'm going to just change the camera angle and still continue sharpening until I'm very happy on how the tip looks. I've created a burr throughout the whole edge of the knife, so I'm just doing equal passes back and forth until I can get that tip perfect. If you guys are enjoying this video, please subscribe. It definitely helps promote the channel. And in the comments, let me know if you guys would tackle this project of sharpening a micro serrated knife or any better way that you would do it. For lighting on the camera, I have my overhead light off, but having it on really helps me see like the burr. But for the viewer, it's not the most appealing light to see since it's super bright. It's great for a sharpener, but for the camera angle, I have to tilt it down a little bit. So before, that's why I had the light off, but now I really want to make sure I'm hitting the entire edge of the knife and having that light on. I know some people just like to focus just on the tip if they want to work on it, but I feel I get a better cutting performance when I just work the whole knife back and forth, and then I can just work on the tip ever so gently at the end. Now that I removed enough material from the edge, I created a high spot with the bolster, so you'll see how I remove that on the next step. Some people say this is the sharpener's signature on a knife when they remove the bolster. So there is a slack portion between the platen and the wheel that I'm using, and that's the best part for this machine to remove the bolster. So I'm grinding it down and blending it in, so that's why you see me rock the knife back and forth. And the main purpose for removing the bolster is when you're using this on the cutting board, you want the knife as flat as possible. If the bolster is higher than the edge, then you're always going to have issues cutting on that cutting board. The next step is to use a 600 grit Trizact belt. This is going to refine the scratch pattern, still leave a little bit of a toothy edge to it, but still have it razor sharp. And I'm going to go equal passes back and forth, and this is going to minimize the burr. Then I'm going to use my leather belt to fully remove it with 3 micron spray. And for the final step is to remove the burr, so I have my leather belt. I like to load my leather belt with diamond spray every 10 knives or so. So this already has the spray on it. Now I'm going edge trailing, equal passes back and forth. I'm flipping the burr over, and that's going to weaken it until it fully pops off. And here's the finished product. And you can still see the micro serrations on it, so those are still left on, but now this has a very razor sharp edge, and I think the customer will be very happy that we could save it for her. Thank you guys so much for watching of how I reprofiled this micro serrated knife to have a flat edge on it. This was sharpened at 17 degrees. And for the paper cut test, it's very sharp. The biggest thing about sharpening this type of knife is having good communication with your customer. Give them options. Most knives can be sharpened. It just depends on what extent sharpening you want to do to it. So thank you guys so much again for watching. My name is Vinny, the knife guy in Reno, Nevada. If you need any of your knives, scissors, or tools sharpened, please reach out. Have a great day.